Creating an AI agent is a great way to automate the entire system for looking for leads for you. Over in the left-hand side menu in AI Tools, you'll find the link to AI Agent, which will open this page for you. Now you may see your page blank, and you can start a brand new AI agent by clicking on the button in the top right-hand corner. What we're going to do here is simply give this agent a name and a description. So I'm going to create this one called Demo Video. And the purpose of this particular agent, let's set this to search and research local companies. Now, we want to automatically save those changes so that the agent is updated when any changes are made. And clicking on Save will open our agent canvas from where we can start building. You'll find within the program that there are pre-built AI agents available under our Recipes tab. So you can open up a recipe, and you can see what that particular recipe is designed to do, and you can choose to use that template on a local search by clicking on those two options. And then as we zoom out, we can see that at local search recipe has automatically been dropped into our canvas. So I'm going to go back. So I'm zooming in and out here by scrolling on the mouse. You can also zoom in and out using your plus buttons on your keyboard should you choose to. So this has created a recipe AI agent, and I can see the steps. So we're going to run a local search, find competitors for those clients, find similar leads to them, and then send them across to a connected CRM program. Those are the steps in this particular agent. If you're using a recipe, you can double click on any step and add more detail to that step. So in this particular first step, we can see that it's starting with a local search. Double clicking opens this up. I can now say which list does this relate to. So it would be a list that I already have. And I'm now selecting what kind of trigger will make this agent work. We can set that it's either when any new result is added to the list, or running this on autopilot will be triggered by a timer. So you can set daily or weekly as the results. Let's start from scratch and build our agent. So you can use any of the existing recipes, and you can edit those recipes from here, or you can start from blank and go from there. That's what we're going to do right now. So I'm just going to remove the nodes that are here. So I'm going to double click, select remove on each one of these steps so that we can design our agent starting from scratch. So we can see that the agent builder is broken down into several categories. The first is search and discovery. The next is filtering those results. The next is research and analysis. Then we have content creation, enrichment, and integration and automation. So we're going to start from the start, and you'll notice that all of our secondary categories here are grayed out. We can't select them at the moment, for we must start with a search and discovery trigger to fire our agent. So all of our different search types are here, from our people search, local, company, domain search, and influencer, and of course our intent search as well. The small number here will show how many credits per lead this agent will consume by choosing this particular step. So if I was to say we want to start with a local search, I'm just going to click and drag this onto the canvas. Click, drag, and drop it. And our configuration window will open. Now, again, we choose the list, or we can create a new list at this time. So I'm going to choose a list that I've already got. And again, we choose, do we want this to be when a new lead is added to the list? That could be coming in from a webhook or coming in from any other source. So anytime a new lead is added, or in this case, we're going to set up this agent to run on autopilot. So we can select now our autopilot steps running either daily or weekly. In this example, I'm going to set up daily. So we're creating an agent that will do this search and the following steps every single day. So I click Save to close that particular setup step, and I'm immediately greeted with the next setup step. These search fields are exactly the same as you'll find on any of our other searches. So for this example, we want to find real estate agents, and we're going to choose a particular location. In this case, I'm going to choose Seattle. And we're going to choose the Seattle from the location list. And now we're saying we've set this to run daily. How many results per day do we want? So I'm going to say, let's start with 20. So I want 20 leads every single day to go through these steps. Clicking on continue, I'll next be greeted with a location confirmation screen. Because I've selected a local search and I've chosen a location, I now get to tell the agent if there are any locations I specifically don't want to search. And I can simply click and turn those off if any of those locations are outside of the area that I want to work. Clicking on continue, I've now got my first node on my AI agent ready to go. So this will fire every day and run the search for me for 20 real estate agents in that location. You'll also notice now that all of my other search nodes are grayed out. I can't add more than one search onto any one agent. But our next steps are now live. And we can walk through our list. So filtering our list allows me, if I again just click and drag, I can now filter this list to say perhaps only find results where the email address is verified. Or I could say where the company size is greater than 10. Or where the social accounts are, where they don't have a linked Instagram account, as an example. So I can set up my results to be filtered however I choose to, using our filter step. So in this case, I'm going to say where the email or where the first name is not empty. In other words, make sure we have a first name for every result that comes in. So now I've got an easy filter on my results. First run the search. If they don't have a first name, disregard them. That's what we've filtered out here. Next, you'll see that we have our research and analysis nodes that are available. So we've got quite a few AI prompts that are already built within the program that you can now use to do our research and analysis. So for example, I can drag on the AI summary, which is a standard AI script in our AI assistant. As I drag that onto the canvas, you'll notice that it pops up and asks me to choose the specific prompt for the AI summary that I want. Now that prompt comes from our AI assistant. So any of the assistant prompts that we've set up in the AI summary section will show up here. So you will always have the company summary, which is a standard prompt out of the box, but you can also create your own unlimited prompts and save them in any of the categories that you choose to. So I'm using the category of AI summary. I've got a standard prompt and I want that to run on every lead that we find. Great. So finding realtors, filtering only if they have a first name, and then we're going to dive deep and do an AI summary. We can do all kinds of other things here. Finding similar companies. So I can say, for example, if once we've found that particular company, find similar companies in the same location and then add those also to my search results. I could find suppliers, find competitors. All of these are standard operations within the Leads program itself. So adding any of our research steps that you'd like to, you can then move down to the content creation steps. And these content creation steps can be linked to our record. So we might say, great, write for me an email message. So I could have an email message built in my AI assistant, and I could instantly have that email written by AI. So you'll notice that our content creation steps are all available in our AI assistant, and you can create your own prompts to write the emails in your voice and follow any steps that you choose. There's another video on our AI assistant setup, and all of those prompts that you create will be visible here in the AI agent builder. So I've run my search, I've filtered, run a summary, written an email. I also want a subject line for that email, so I'm going to drag that on there as well. And again, choose my prompt that I want to complete for that specific direction. And I can move my canvas just by clicking and dragging. Okay, I want to make sure I'm building this out. These are all linked, so I can move them around however I choose to. And so I've done my content creation. I've also got a custom prompt here. So as I'm building prompts inside of the AI assistant, I can have custom prompts available and I can run sequentially with our agent builder. Once I'm happy with my build so far, I can move to our next step. I could choose to enrich the data further, so I could go and get more details. You'll notice that that charges some extra credits to go down to that step. So I could, for example, enrich my company results. I could find more details on that client if I wasn't getting enough information from my first search. I could run a second enrichment and a waterfall enrichment program. And then when I'm happy, I can now send that across to my connected CRM. So you may have one, you have many, you might have a webhook that sends to an email spreadsheet. You've got multiple selections here that will show up inside of your CRM or custom webhooks that you've already set up in the integrations area of the program. So any of the integrations you've created will be visible here, and here, once you're created, you're now able to send these records across to the CRM automatically. You'll see in my screen here that I have the option to choose an amount of email addresses. So you can imagine that as we look at a single company, they may have 10 employees that work there. So you might want to send all 10 emails across to your CRM. Or in fact, if there's more, you could simply choose all. However, you might say, you know what? Emailing 10 people with the same message might not come back so well to me. So I might say, only pick up 2 emails from that company and send them across to my CRM. So your selection here will give how many records from this particular search do we want to send across to our CRM. And that's it. We've now got a complete AI agent ready to work. It will run my search, set my steps that I've chosen, and then the final step is to send that across to my connected CRM or webhooks as I've set them up in my integrations area. The last thing to do here is save this and publish my AI agent. Once we've published that AI agent, especially one that is set up on a timer, this will run automatically until stopped. You might also find that the location with our system here might run out of results after a couple of particular days. So I can see, for example, those locations that are set up, there's only a few or however many were located in that particular section. I can go back and change my location, of course, but at some point there's going to be no more results. When that happens, you'll get a notification about it. You can go back, change the location, even down to a suburb level, and get a whole new selection and update your agent without interrupting the flow. So we've created an AI agent that will now run automatically and run your searches for you. You can set any of our search methods, people, local, company, domain, influencer, or intent, and you can set that to run on a timer or when any other results are added to the list. You can set up your steps with filters, with research, running any of the prompts that you've created in the AI assistant, and then automatically sending that across to your connected systems. Setting up AI agents within your program is a great way for the tool to run automatically and on autopilot for you using your instructions as an AI agent to create constant lead flow and lead research for you.